Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Tuesday edition of the JP Peterson Show. We are stocked and loaded again. We got lots of football to talk. We may go some weird places today. The pre-show meeting went some weird places. I'm just going to be honest with you. So who knows where this show goes?
Buckle up,
kids. We just don't know. When you got two old heads like this talking about crazy stuff going on at the Super Bowl, you never know where it's going to go. So stay tuned. Scott Reynolds from the Pewter Report's going to join us at 10:30. TJ Reeves going to join us at 11:45, and we have your comments and everything else you want to put into the show. You can do that up on Facebook. You can do it on our YouTube channel. You can do it at FanStream JP. Good morning to you, Tim Ham, IndyCar Tim. How are you?
Good morning, JP. Good show yesterday.
That was fun, right? Having Brad Johnson on the day after the Super Bowl. Is he just like he needs to have his own show. He really does. He's very entertaining. He's not afraid to say things, although he says some things off camera that are really, really good that I can never repeat.
Right.
But if he ever said those on camera, ooh. None of it in a bad way. None of it in a bad way. It's just like you can't, too many feelings would be hurt. Too many crybabies would lose their mind. So nothing in a bad way. It's just the world we live in today. People can't handle it. They just can't handle it. So
and he's got all those little trick shots that he does on social media. Have you ever?
Of course.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, they're so great.
So entertaining.
Man. I love that. He's just throwing footballs through uprights from the end line and crap.
Like he does things that you can't do. Like you can't do those things. You can't even come close to doing those things. No. Like you can't. And it's in his entire life. I've known Brad. I didn't know we were going there. I've known Brad since he was like a freshman in college. And Brad was, and people probably don't remember this. Brad played on the FSU basketball team and was their best 3-point shooter. He played with Charlie Ward, I believe, one year, if I'm not mistaken. He was their best 3-point shooter. The dude could not miss. So he played basketball and football. We used to play racquetball together too. The dude is super competitive at everything, but now he does trick shots. And then the other day on his annual Super Bowl video, he throws up 225 20 times on a bench. He's 55 years old. He did 20 reps of 225. Like there are guys at the combine, linemen that aren't doing that.
Yeah. I don't even know if I can look at 225 without passing out right now.
Me neither. Like that just goes right through my chest. I could get maybe 3 reps, maybe 3 if I'm lucky, and then I'm done for a month and a half. Like pec tears, biceps, everything's torn.
Groin pulls.
Everything's done. And like the whole body would shut down at that point. 20 reps, like I can't even freaking believe it. But we got a lot to get into. Jordan G is already on it. The Rays ticket price hikes have been announced. Bucks are raising prices. Everybody, professional sports teams are raising prices. I can't believe this. I really can't believe in the times that we're in. I think this is going to backfire big time. This is going to backfire big time on a lot of different people, because people are going to start just going, look, I can watch this stuff on TV. It is such a hassle to go to games. But I love the in-game experience. I love it. But as I get older, I'm like, it's hard. It's really hard. As a younger person, I want to get out. I want to do all that stuff. But, I'm not the Rays raising prices of all people. Silly. We'll get into that as well.
That is silly. Yeah.
It's crazy. The Bucks popped up their prices as well, but you've been to the playoffs 4 straight years. I know the Rays have been to the playoffs, 5 straight years now. But it's just football and baseball are such a different deal. You have, 10 home games, really 8 home games, sometimes 9. But for the most part, it's a one-off on a Sunday, maybe 2 games a month, as opposed to baseball, which you might have 17 games in a month. I mean, who's going to 17 games at $50 a pop or $75 a pop? Can't do that.
That's
who could have? That's not baseball was never meant to cost that much money, by the way. Let me jump on my soapbox here. Baseball was always meant to be a $5 ticket, and go and have a few beers and a couple overpriced beers. Everybody makes a little bit of money. Baseball was never meant to be this, where every game is like an NBA game or a hockey game. I don't want to say a football game, but every game is like, okay, we can legitimately charge you $75 for this game. No. There's 7 more games every day after this. As a season ticket holder, who can afford to do that? Who wants to go to a game 7 days a week? Nobody, especially to the Trop. Who's doing laps back and forth to the Trop for a 2-week homestand? Nobody. And now you're going to jack ticket prices up? You're out of your mind.
So are these ticket increases, these price increases, is this just across the board for all levels, all suites, all seating sections?
Jordan G, but you're the season ticket holder, so you chime in here and tell us how much they jacked up the prices. I saw a little bit on it on social media. People were bitching about it, but I didn't get anything official from the club. So if you can tell me what is official. It says you also play in a dump as the Rays then do. It's a little amount of fans that come already. MLB already struggles with attendance league-wide despite what they advertise, even in New York and LA. Yeah, absolutely. He also points out that it is comical at this point. Absolutely. They need to be taking prices down. I mean, and they need to be taking concession prices down to get people in the building. I don't this is counterintuitive. Once again, this is Stu Sternberg trying to prove something. I don't know. How do you actually think you're going to raise prices and more people are going to come because you had a good season last year because you won 99 games? It's not about that, man. It's not about that. Nobody cares. I hate to say it, but nobody cares. It's good that you have a winning team. I mean, if you sucked, it would be really hard to get people in there. So that's a plus. But the biggest problem is traveling to the games midweek, driving to the games. The stadium itself is so obsolete on every level. I mean, the WrestleMania thing just exposed it on every. Sorry, Royal Rumble. My bad. Don't want to misgender.
You're crossing your brands here. Crossing brands.
Misgender your wrestling event. My bad. The Royal Rumble. I mean, I was like, you're going to put 50,000 people in that place, in that dump. And first of all, toilets aren't going to work. And Nick was like, yeah, you got within 20 feet of the outside of the restroom and you smelled it. You smelled it. I'm like, oh yeah. The holding tanks underneath are definitely overflowing at this point. Yeah, it's just such a dump. And a great idea. Let's build one right next door. Still can't get over that.
It's approved. Yeah. It's approved. They're doing it.
Not yet. We'll see. April is the next big vote, so we'll see. We'll see what happens by then. Hopefully, the team will be sold and they'll scrap that whole ridiculous idea. But we'll see. And by the way, we still don't know the numbers on Kevin Cash's contract or Eric Neander's contract. It's like a nuclear secret we're keeping here. It's pretty weird. But anyway, so the Bucks had their renewals last week. They raised prices marginally. I think I heard 10%, which I guess is not marginal. That's significant. That's significant. Yeah. I mean, but again, that's going. An $82 ticket is now an $88 ticket. I mean, you've been to the playoffs. It's NFL. It's a big deal. It's twice a month. They do a nice job there. The stadium's nice. Everything's good. You got a good team to root for. I think you're all right. I'm not gonna crush the Bucks for this. It's centrally located, easy in, easy out, great fan experience. The Bucks clearly it's a team you want to support. It's an ownership group you want to support. All those good things going for you. I think they may have a little bit of room to raise. If you're going to raise prices 10%, okay, it's supply and demand. We'll see how it goes. I'm not going to crush them for it. But the Rays, you're idiots. If you're raising prices, you're morons. You're just going to turn people. It's just, it's right on brand for them. Just the middle finger to the fans every chance you get. It's typically on brand for them. So, it's not surprising at all.
Here in Arlington, or down the road there in Arlington, where we have our new stadium and our world champion Texas Rangers, by the way.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Don't know if y'all heard about that or not.
I remember. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah.
We still
How
have.
many games you win in the regular season? 88?
I thought it was 90.
Was it? Okay.
Or 91, yeah.
We won 99.
Or we won 90, and the Astros won 91 to win the division on the last day of the game.
Yeah.
Or the last
we won
day of the
99
season.
regular season games. So there, and we scored half a run in the postseason.
Against some really dominating pitching in the first round.
I don't even think we scored a full run. They only gave us a half a run.
So, JP, we still have $7 tickets. You can go to a Rangers game for $7.
See, that should always be an option in baseball. That should always be an option. If you want to sit in a box seat, great. $50 at least. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Or more, whatever.
Yeah. You
want to sit in the outfield and have a beer on the ledge, it should be $7. The beer is going to be 15, so you're making your money. You're not going to. I doubt you're going in on a $7 ticket and just not buying anything, right?
Sure.
You're going to buy at least a beer and probably two.
Probably more than two.
Exactly. So you're already up to $30. You got $40 out of the guy all in, so you're good to go, right? I mean, and you made $37 in profit. So it's a no-brainer. But no. The Rays used to have $10. Well, I think they are still doing some $10 tickets. It's limited, but I think they're selling like $10 tickets a game. I think.
Wow.
But still raising prices. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, not smart. And by the way, pitchers and catchers report tomorrow, I believe. And the Rays have not made any significant offseason moves. I don't expect them to make any more or any. I don't expect them to do anything at all. Their payroll is going to be actually higher than it's normally been because they've just got a lot of older players. Their players are starting to, they've been here a while. The Yandy Diaz's, those type guys have been here for a little bit. Randy Arozarena, they're now in the third year of arbitration, so they're making a decent $8, $9, $10 million salary. So their payroll is going to be upwards of around $85 million, which is huge for them. And we'll see. I don't know how much better they're going to be because the pitching, Shane McClanahan obviously on the shelf with the Tommy John, Jeffrey Springs, and Rasmussen aren't coming back probably until halfway through the season. So they've got issues in their starting pitching, but they always seem to figure that out. And if this team continues to grow, I mean, they've got at least all the guys. It's a Rosarena, Siri, Josh Lowe, Brandon Lau, Yandy Diaz, Isaac Paredes, Taylor Walls, no wonder Franco. Looks like Pinto's going to be the catcher. So they've got, there's a lot of familiar faces, but there's also no superstars in there. There's no huge, what I would call consistent bats. Yes, Paredes hit 30 home runs. Will he be able to do it again? We'll see. So I think it's going to be an interesting team to watch. Their pitching will be the number one question mark. Will they be able to score a lot? I think they'll score runs because they'll be fast. They'll be athletic. Their run prevention, I think, will be good because they've got a lot of good defensive players. But again, the pitching, how will that work out? So we'll see. I'm looking forward to getting them on the field. I love watching the Rays. I love the team. I love the baseball part of it. It's fantastic. I wish we didn't have to deal with the other schmatz, honestly. But I'm looking forward to seeing the guys out there and watching baseball and not talking about some of the other stupid stuff.
I'd much rather say
before we
it's fun
get
to be in baseball season.
Well, actually, I'll hit a couple. It is, I like baseball season. I love football season a lot more. Don't get me wrong. But
Sure.
Yeah, baseball season is fun. It's and going to opening day and doing all that, it's great. And I just wish, as I've said many times before, I just wish we had a better experience here in Tampa Bay. I wish we had a local owner who would embrace the area like Jeffrey Vinnick has, like the Glazers have, build a state-of-the-art stadium in the middle of the market where it's accessible to everyone. It has the modern amenities. It has, a fan first approach like the other teams do with their pricing and everything else, and just embrace and partner with the community instead of always being adversarial with the community. That's the experience we've had with Stu Sternberg over the last 15 years. Nobody wants to fight. We don't want to fight with our owner. We don't want an owner that hates us. We don't want an owner that constantly tells us what a crappy market we are. We don't want that. Why can't we just all get along?
What's the point of that?
Because he's just he's an outsider, and he's been here for 15 years, and still an outsider, still considered a New York guy.
Wow.
Because look at Jeffrey Vinnick moved here, moved his entire business here, built downtown Tampa, doubled its size, embraced the area. The Glazers, for the most part, they've lived here. There's so many of the owners. A lot of them live but Darcy's lived here for a while. Brian's lived here. Joel's lived here at a time or two. They're in and out, but they've always embraced Tampa Bay, and they've done it, especially the last 10 years. They've done a great job. By the way, they just sold off 25% of their Manchester United and evidently gave up the controlling part of the soccer operations to a billionaire, Jim Radcliffe, and his sports company, which is good because they've not done a really good job of running that club in terms of winning on the field. So, but they'll retain 49% of the stake in the club, but they're going to cash in a few billion on that deal. So good for them. But they've embraced this area, and they've done a great job partnering with the community. The Rays have not. The Rays are they've been on the outside of everything, and they've just, this whole stadium saga and the whole, don't spend money, blame the fans thing that Stu has done for his entire career is just awful. It's awful. And it's not what sports should be about. Sports should be uniting, bringing people together. Should never have a situation where the owner is a pariah. And that's what we've had here. And it's not, that just takes away from the experience. It could be so much better if we had somebody that we could rally around. So hopefully that comes to fruition rather soon. There are some guys that live here locally that are interested in buying the team, and I'm sure Stu wants a king's ransom for it. Is going to make it as hard as possible for anybody to do anything positive here. And in the deal itself, I'm sure he's going to take as much money out of the deal as he possibly can and leave nothing but crumbs behind for the new owners to try and rebuild, because that's what he does. That's his whole motive, which sucks. The baseball, the powers that be in baseball, the commissioner should come in here and right the situation and make a smooth transition to a new ownership group that lives here, that loves to be here, that wants to build in the middle of the market. This is not freaking rocket science, people. It's not. It's very easy. And the commissioner has the power to do it. There are people out there with money that want to buy the team. But I'm telling you, I guarantee the negotiations are really, really tough. Because A, we still have an open lawsuit by his partners, and B, Stu wants to suck dry every little piece of money that he could take out of St. Petersburg or Tampa Bay. And it's hard. And if you're a buyer, you want to have something to run the club on, right? You've taken the hundreds of millions, $375 million in advance for your TV contract, the last TV contract. So how's that working with the new group? How much of this new development are you going to control if you actually do build in St. Petersburg? And how much is Hines gonna take, the developer? I mean, he's in it for him. He's proven that time and time again. So do we trust him in this negotiation to hand it off to a local investing group and have anything left to run the team on? Probably not. But that's where the commissioner should come in and make sure that they can flourish moving forward, have money to build a stadium and money to run the team. Seems obvious, but for some reason it's tough. And
it feels like the blueprint's been set there for years and years and years and years, right? To run a successful, whatever, name the sport organization. It's all been done already. There's plenty of blueprints out there. Why are you trying to make your own? It's already there.
It's just greed. That's all it is. Nathan Elliott says if the Bucs raise prices again, there will be more open seats. All the New England Buccaneers fans are going to be ending their crew SPMs. It's true. I mean, this is kind of where the last year Brady, I think you had to buy in 2 years. So, I would imagine that's why it's kind of weird that they would be raising prices, but I don't know the inner workings of it, to be quite honest. So, and I don't think there's significant price raises, but we'll see. All right. Wanted to get into some other stuff, specifically Super Bowl. And, yesterday we whipped up on Kyle Shanahan pretty good. And I think that the 24 hours news cycle final of the Super Bowl, watching Get Up this morning, and and Kyle Shanahan was their kind of number one target. And I thought that criticism was obvious. And I said this yesterday, and it bears repeating. Coaches obviously don't play, right? They can't make a tackle. They can't throw a football, can't catch a football. But you have to do the basic things to put your team in the best opportunity of winning it. And doing that and not doing it is just absolutely criminal, especially with the basic stuff in terms of managing a game. And Kyle Shanahan at the end of the first half is just sitting on his timeouts while the Chiefs, who are going to get the ball to begin the second half, are running the time down, and he is not using those timeouts to get that extra possession. That is tantamount to getting a turnover. You can't, that is criminal negligence as a coach to just say, I don't want to fumble. I don't want an interception. I don't need a turnover. I don't need an extra possession before the half. I don't need it. I mean, that's just, it's so, and I know sometimes it's counterintuitive as the clock, the other team has the ball and the clock is running down and they're moving towards the goal line. Why would you call a timeout and give them more time? Because they have enough time to do what they're going to do. They're bleeding the clock, so you don't have any time left. It's funny because this goes back to, I did a lot of Arena Football League. I don't know if you're ever involved in the Arena Football League.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But the Arena Football League, how they managed their time was hilarious. I mean, if you could save 7 seconds at the end of a half, that was time to score a touchdown. That's 2 plays, man. We got time. And that's how they would manage the game. You could steal 2 possessions at the end of the half. And that's the way you got to do this in the NFL now. You've got to, every possession is so critical. And to be in a 2-minute situation at the end of the half, they probably would have had 54 seconds left and at least one timeout. I think if he'd have done it correctly, they would have got the ball back with 54 seconds. You're going to get it at the 25. All right, you got a guy, your kicker's not great, but he made a 55-yarder.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to go 50 yards in 54 seconds with a timeout, and they're probably going to give you the dink and dunk like they always do, right? And God forbid somebody actually catch the ball and run with it. You might have a few explosive players on that San Francisco offense. So that's number one. Terrible, not using those timeouts. The overtime coin flip thing is absolutely criminal. I can't even believe some people are arguing that the third possession is the way to go, which is stupid to me. Absolutely moronic. Being able to use 4 downs is such a huge advantage. It wipes out anything else you want to talk about. Anything else you want to talk about, it doesn't even matter. Momentum, because you score first. First of all, what makes Kyle Shanahan think he's going to go the length of the field and score a touchdown on the Kansas City Chiefs defense that hasn't given up one in a long time? And you got one on a trick play. And what makes you think you're going to go down the field in that situation and score a touchdown? I know you have to think you are, but playing the percentages, right? Mm-hmm. And you're playing 15. You got Pat Mahomes on the other side. If you don't score a touchdown, you are giving him the ball with 4 downs, which, oh, by the way, he needed. On 4th and 1 at the 36-yard line, or what is, they had to go for it. They knew they had to go for it. Had they gotten the ball originally, they would be punting. You got the ball now, and all you need is a field goal to win. Now, I know it would play out differently in some ways, and then the incongruence of not going for it on 4th down when you're down in the red zone. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I don't
It's
understand why he
4th
gets
and
such a
4.
pass.
Well, I don't know. This to me is, if he wasn't such a damn good play caller and such a good overall coach, which he is. You can't deny that. That's a fireable offense. In the biggest game, you made 3, not 1, but 3 incredible blunders. Like that's kind of a bad decision. These are blunders. They're blunders.
It cost you a Super Bowl.
That cost you a Super Bowl. They're not 1, not 2, but 3 blunders. If I can say that word again. Blunders. It's just, I want to get the definition of that because it would read so well right now. If you take the ball, you better damn well score a touchdown. And you're 4th and 4 from the 9. You could score a touchdown from the 9, or they've got to guard the first down. The fact that they have to guard the first down at the 4, or I guess the 5-yard line, leaves the back door open for a touchdown. Double level. Nobody knows this better than Kyle Shanahan in flooding the zones. And by the way, the play you called on 3rd down, there were 2 guys wide open. 2 guys wide open. If you block Chris Jones, you got a touchdown. You have Brock Purdy. You've got some of the best playmakers in the game, and you're kicking a freaking field goal in that situation? You're going to give Patrick Mahomes 4 downs. 4 downs. No clock restrictions. 4 downs to score a touchdown and at least get a field goal that's going to tie you. And then once again, you're right back where you started. Dumbest shiz ever. Like that's 3 blunders by Kyle Shanahan. I don't care what your last name is. That any other coach would be laughed off the freaking stage. Can
you imagine if that was Mike McCarthy?
Oh my
God. There that cost the Cowboys a Super Bowl because of just careless mistakes like that, which he's been known for.
Yeah.
He's been known for.
But in a Super Bowl.
These
are not. And by the way, the 49ers didn't know the rules. How do you not know the overtime rules? And literally Patrick Mahomes is saying, yeah, we practiced this stuff. Practiced it. They didn't even know the rules. Although McCall Hardman didn't know the game was over. So I guess he wasn't paying attention to practice. But I mean, and can I say the NFL, you got to do a better job. You got to do a better job. Half the NFL announcers were asking questions after the game. Why didn't you call timeout at the end of overtime? They had no idea that it was just going to a second quarter or second overtime, basically.
Right.
The clock didn't matter. I had tons of people. How many people in America of the 127 million people that were watching were like, oh, you better call timeout. The clock's running down. You never explained it. CBS never explained it until after the fact. All right. And Tony Romo, don't even get me started on your idiot ass. Let it breathe, bro. Let it breathe.
I really was wondering
for your
what
analysis.
Your on that.
Plenty of time for your analysis. We don't need to let it breathe. Was Jim Nantz like hitting him, going? Shut.
I guarantee you, Tony Romo was about to pee in his pants if he didn't get that analysis out immediately. He was so excited.
We know you're smart. We know you. We know that you're going to give us the greatest breakdown of that play. Not now. Not now. Let Jim Nantz set the stage and let it breathe. But again, I thought the NFL did a terrible job explaining the overtime. All right, we're starting a new game, the ref says. Each team will get a possession. Okay, is it sudden death after that? Is it the most guys with the most points? Now, I knew the rule, but I don't think many people, the freaking 49ers didn't know the rule. Yeah. Is it the team with the most points at the end of the quarter? Is it, I mean, how much do you have to go for 2 after I mean, there's a lot of permutations here, and the NFL did a terrible job of setting up the overtime. And Jim Nantz even asked, I guess it was Gene Steratore to explain the overtime. He did a terrible job.
Yeah.
He did a terrible job. So that, I mean, if you don't know the rules of the game, if your players don't know the rules of the game in the biggest game of the year, and most of the fans and a lot of the broadcasters don't know the rules of the game, that's a problem. That's a communication problem with the league. The league needs to own that. I understand why you changed the rules, and I'm okay with it, by the way. I think you got it right. But you got to let everybody know how it works, and specifically how it works. There were way too many questions that were left up to chance. I mean, you assumed everybody knew it was sudden death, right? But you never said that. How do they know? Why do we have a clock then? I'm like, why do we have a clock then? What is the point of the clock? It just screwed everybody up. So,
yeah,
all right.
That's insane.
Well, we got so much more to get to. Scott Reynolds is going to join us from the Pure Report. Quick break. When we come back, we will chat with him. Bruce Arians talking quarterbacks for the Buccaneers, by the way. So we'll delve into that and all the offseason stuff for the Buccaneers. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Go to the website, get your free case evaluation. Whether you've been in an accident, you have a problem with your employer, any legal issue whatsoever, get a free case evaluation. You can call a lawyer for free and get talk to Scott Jeeves or one of the fine attorneys there at the Jeeves Law Group and get a professional recommendation, all for free. That's the Jeeves Law Group. Back in 3. Stay with us. JP here for my friends at your local Synovus Bank, and I do mean friends, and I do mean local. One of the local managers in Tampa is John Acosta, big fan of the show, and I've known him for over 40 years. He's been in local banking since 1983. You talk about developing relationships. You don't stick around for that long unless you're doing things the right way and have a great reputation, and that's the focus company-wide at Synovus. Big enough to handle any complex international transaction, but small enough to answer the phone when you have an urgent question about your business or personal account. And for personal accounts, they have a very easy app that works great. You can do everything online. And for large or small businesses, you will get that personal touch and services to help build your business, taking your dreams and aspirations from the whiteboard to reality. We can make that happen. Let us show you how. For a get-acquainted meeting to open a business or personal account, just call John or go to synovus.com to find out where your local branch is.
All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA two-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to geddesgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com or call 813-485-6808.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Well, I'm sitting here watching one of the breakdowns of the third and four play that they had to throw away right before the kick. And you got Brandon Ayuk running wide open in the end zone because his defender fell down. Jennings is wide open, and nobody blocks Chris Jones. Guess it doesn't matter what coin toss you take when you don't block Chris.
I mean, he's easy to forget about, right? He's never done anything.
Wow. All right. Welcome back. Brought to you by the Bay Area Modern Medical Center, folks. BAMMC.com. Get your appointment there by going right to the website, BAMMC.com. All right. Let's welcome in our good friend, Scott Reynolds from the Pewter Report. What's up, Scotty? How are you, my friend? How was your Super Bowl experience?
Great. It was awesome. Had a good time in Louisville. I found out that's how you pronounce it. It's not Louisville. It's Louisville.
Yeah.
It's in the back of your throat, Louisville.
Exactly. Yeah, with all the whiskey back there in the back of your throat.
Yes.
So
they make a lot of bourbon and whiskey up
they
there.
do. We were at Whiskey Row. It was a great time. We went to several distilleries.
Oh, nice.
Rabbit Hole, Angel's Envy, which was the best, I thought. Michter's and Evan Williams. Very, very interesting.
So is that the Bourbon Trail up there?
It is the Bourbon Trail, Whiskey Row, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's.
There's who are the guys? I want the 12. Let me butcher this. What is the 13 horses guys? 12 horses, whiskey guys. The ones that went over to Afghanistan right after 9/11.
Yeah,
whatever their names are. They great guys, super guys, and I'm brain farting here. And when they go to Valspar every year, they're building a huge distillery up there, right
they
there
are, yeah.
on the river, and it's going to be beautiful. It's an old golf course,
right?
And they're putting in like skeet shooting and all kinds of different stuff, and they're going to have the still right there, making the bourbon and all. That's going to be it.
You're talking about Horse Soldier, right?
Horse Soldier, thank you, Horse Soldier.
Yep.
Good whiskey, by the way. But speaking of the Super Bowl, I got my Dun Kings right there.
Oh yeah,
Dun Kings. Got
yeah. Yeah.
Which was the best commercial of the bunch.
I thought so too. Yeah.
And Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
That was the best one.
And I like Dunkin' over Starbucks, like 7 days a week.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Come on.
Every day.
Is that even a thing?
No, it really isn't. I just wanted to make sure everybody.
I mean, I'll take McDonald's coffee over Starbucks any day.
I'll take anything over Starbucks.
I got a kid that works for Starbucks, and I get free Starbucks coffee whenever I want, and I'll still take the paid stuff over.
Yeah,
agreed, 100%. Was it? Have you guys seen the one, the spin-off spot of Tom Brady throwing the ball at Ben Affleck? He's like,
no.
So I retweeted that one today.
Okay, I'll take a look at it.
So Brady's like throwing the ball with Matt Damon.
Yeah.
He's like, wow, did you play high school football? He's kind of talented. And Affleck's like, oh, wait, don't blow up his ego. Come on, Tommy, throw me one with the touchdown spice, And then he just like rips one at him.
That's great.
Go check it out. It's good.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk. Let me give me your Super Bowl perspective. I was just ripping on Shanahan for the 3 coaching blunders he made.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I'm just taking a Buccaneer angle at this. It's like the Super Bowl 55 win each year looks better and better and better, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Mahomes has been to 4 Super Bowls now. He's won 3, but man, that one loss, right? I mean, and see, that's the thing. You ask Tom Brady, you ask Bill Belichick, and the ones that stand out the most, right? Eli Manning, Nick Foles, right? It's the ones that you lose, because that's what the greats always remember. I mean, listen, the Super Bowl rings, like, they stay forever, right? Unless you pawn them off, but why would you? But the champions always remember the ones that got away, right? And I guarantee you, if you ask Tom Brady what his greatest or best Super Bowl memory is, he'll pick a Super Bowl and say this one because, right? But if you say, what do you remember about your Super Bowls? Gosh, we were undefeated, and Eli Manning and the Giants, right? Like, those are the ones that matter to the great ones.
Yeah.
Right. And if you're an Atlanta Falcons fan, right, for example, it's those 2 losses in the Super Bowl to Denver in New England, right? Those are the ones that matter, because those are the ones you got. But for the Buccaneers, winners of both of their Super Bowls, mind you, 2-0, best in the division. That Super Bowl win, 31-9 in Tampa over Patrick Mahomes, who was running for his life the whole day.
Yeah. That
game just took Todd Bowles and his reputation to another level. And I'm sure in the back of the Glazers' mind, in the back of Jason Light's mind, when Bruce Arians passed the baton off to Todd Bowles, they had that warm and fuzzy thought back, oh yeah, he helped us win a Super Bowl,
That's right.
So, I mean, that Super Bowl win by Tampa Bay just keeps looking better and better and better. The more Mahomes wins, the more the Chiefs win. It just sticks out like a sore thumb, and as it should.
It's a great thought, and I think it underscores that if you want to play a game with Patrick Mahomes and you want to keep it close, and you're going to let him have the ball at the end of the game, he had the ball at the end of the game.
Down.
He had the ball at the end of the game with the Bucs. Didn't matter. He was down 4 scores.
That's right. Well, and that's the thing. You're exactly right. It's just like Michael Jordan, right? If you want to take down the Bulls and Michael Jordan in his prime, you cannot keep it close in the fourth quarter because the Jordan rules are going to apply. He's going to the free throw line, and if he doesn't kill you, with fadeaway jumpers and 3-pointers,
he'll
he's
steal
going
the ball and win the game.
He's going to kill you at the free throw line, and the refs are going to make sure of it, right? So if you, as it's the truth, and if you want to beat Patrick Mahomes in the Chiefs, it's touchdowns, not field goals. Yeah. And as great as Ryan Suckup was in 2020, scoring more points than any Buccaneer in history, right? Beating Martin Gramatica in terms of most points in a season. What did he have to do during the Super Bowl? 4 extra points and 1 field goal, and that's it. And that's what you want from your kicker when you're going up against Patrick Mahomes. 4 touchdowns, right, by Tampa Bay, and that was the knockout punch right there. You can't rely on field goals and expect to beat Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. You won't. It won't happen.
So what did you think of the Shanahan blunders? Where do you go? The ones I mentioned are not using your timeouts at the end of the half. Could have got another possession there.
Yeah.
The decision in overtime to take the ball, stupid, and then not going for it to score the touchdown on 4th and 4 after you took the ball.
To me, again, it goes back to my premise. I'm looking at it from a macro perspective. You're looking at it from micro.
Put yourself in that situation.
Don't put yourself in the situation, right? Yeah. I would much rather if I'm Kyle Shanahan and I got blown out by 17 points because I was too pro risk rather than being risk averse, right? And saying, hey, we went forward on every 4th down. Okay. We had our shot at knocking off Goliath, right? Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to rely on the slingshot. I wanted to rely on the catapult, Little pebble's not going to take down this Goliath. I need a boulder, man. Yeah. And I kind of morphed into John Gruden there. I need a boulder, man.
Man.
But
catapult.
To me, that's what it is. I would rather be on that podium and say, yep, you know what? We tried to play it close a couple years ago and we lost. We're up by 10. If we're up by 14, 17, we would have won that game. And so I told our team, we are going for broke. We're going forward on just about every manageable 4th down. When we're inside the 30-yard line, we're going for it. We're getting 4 downs to get touchdowns. And I think that's the approach you have to have with this guy. Yeah, because if you hang around, he's going to come back and beat you. He is Michael Jordan. He is the Chicago Bulls. And if you keep it close, you're going to lose. And like, for example, look no further than Tampa's own touchdown right before halftime, right? They could have settled for the field goal. And, it was a 2 or 3 yard touchdown pass, that little zip to Antonio Brown, right? That gave the Bucs that little extra oomph that they needed going into halftime. I think they had 3 touchdowns on the board, right? Because Brady had 3 in the first half, 2 to Gronk, and then that 1 there. And I want to say it was 21-3 at half. Mm-hmm. And like, you're feeling pretty good about yourself right there, right? You're up, 18 points on Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City, and your defense is playing well, and your offense is playing well, and they're in the locker room trying to figure out what the hell happened, right? So that's the type of situation you need to put yourself in. It can't be close. A 10-point lead is not safe with Patrick Mahomes, and Shanahan's found that out twice now.
Scott Reynolds joining us here from the Pewter Report. All right, this is going to, start an absolute fire among Buccaneers fans, and I love it. So we'll bring it up right here.
Yeah.
So I'm reading Rick Stroud's piece with Bruce Arians yesterday.
Yep.
And Bruce is doing quarterback grades for the Buccaneers as an advisor.
Yep.
And he loves him some Michael Penix.
Yep.
Loves him some Michael Penix.
It's okay.
Let me see. What I'm trying to find the quote here. He says,
I read it. I mean, He likes Michael Penix. That's great. He's not the head coach. He's not the general manager. Okay.
Come on, man. I'm trying to start some conversation.
I know. Well, listen, I don't think they're going to go with Michael Penix. I don't think that he is. I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback in the first 2 rounds. As much as he might love Michael Penix, he still loves Kyle Trask. We have our own story that just came out. I spoke to Bruce yesterday too, and he's still effusing praise on Kyle Trask, his guy that he drafted back in the second round in 2021. So I'm not saying they're not going to draft a quarterback. Matter of fact, in our latest Peter Report 7-round Bucks mock draft, we have them taking Michael Pratt out of Tulane in the 4th round. If he's still there, maybe he's gone by the 3rd. Who knows?
Ooh,
interesting. But I don't think they're going to use 1st or 2nd round draft capital when they have more pressing needs on offensive line and the pass rush for 2 reasons. Number one, if you're going to spend a bunch of money to re-sign Baker Mayfield and you're going to turn him into what I think is at least a $30 million quarterback, from $4 million to $30 million, you've got to protect that guy. And it can't be with Aaron Stinney, and it can't be with Robert Hainsey, and it can't be with Matt Filer. It's got to be with another hoss up front. You're going to have to go out in free agency and either get a center or guard. Yep. And then in the draft the opposite. If you got a center in free agency, get yourself a guard. If you got a guard in free agency, get yourself a center.
Agreed.
So that's got to be one of those premium picks, either 1st or 2nd round. We have them taking Duke's Graham Barton, who is a left tackle, who, guess what? Surprise, surprise, is going to move inside, just like Jason Light likes to do. Yep. Ali Marpet comes to mind. Alex Kappa comes to mind. Cody Mount comes to mind. You draft that athletic left tackle, move him inside. And then in the 2nd round, we have them taking Adisa Isaac, who's a pass rusher from Penn State in the 2nd round. So to me, that has to be the first 2 picks.
I agree.
And listen, Todd Bowles is going crazy over the fact that he doesn't have a double-digit sacker from the outside. He doesn't have a Jason Pierre-Paul. He doesn't have a Shaq Barrett in his prime. And when you're relying on Yaya Diaby, who's a rookie, getting 7.5 sacks, right? They need another pass rusher. They're going to cut Shaq Barrett loose. JTS, he's in that 4th year. They're not picking up his 5th-year option. He's a placeholder. You got to find another guy in there that's capable of being that bookend. Because if you want to get back to the Super Bowl, the formula is really simple. You've got to have 2 really good pass rushers. In 2002, Warren Sapp on the inside, Simeon Rice on the outside. Greg Spires wasn't bad on the other side either, mind you.
The crane.
And then what happened in 2002? You had Ndamukong Suh on the inside, Jason Pierre-Paul on the outside, Shaq Barrett on the outside, Vita Vea on the inside.
Yeah.
You've got to dominate in the trenches if you're going to beat the likes of Patrick Mahomes, if you're going to beat the NFC Kings, San Francisco, and Detroit. So to me, I don't see where drafting a quarterback in the first 2 rounds, and that's where Michael Penix is going to go, either 1st or 2nd round. That's not going to happen, because if you're going to invest all this money in Baker Mayfield for at least 2 or 3 years, you're guaranteeing that whichever quarterback you draft is going to be on the bench for 2-3 more years. I think Jason Light has learned his lesson with Kyle Trask.
Yeah, that could have. We go back and redraft that. I haven't done this, but I'm sure you guys have. There's probably a lot of good players available that turned into good linemen in this league when we took Kyle Trask. Probably.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. I mean, that's that's probably the case. I haven't gone back and looked. We can look real quick here. In the 2nd round, I'll put it right here. In the 2nd round, let's see, they drafted Joe Tryon-Shawinka, 32 overall. And then in the 2nd round, they draft Kyle Trask at 64. You got Brady Christensen, BYU offensive lineman.
Yeah.
He was drafted by Carolina about 6 spots later. Probably a better pick, right?
Yeah.
Aleem McNeil, defensive tackle from the Lions.
Okay.
Yeah, 72 overall. I could have had him for sure. Those are 2 guys I'm looking at right here that come to mind. So anybody else that sticks out? Really, it's not a great 3rd round. Nico Collins, wide receiver.
Oh, yeah.
Houston Texans in the 3rd round right there. So, those are 3 guys right there that you don't mind having.
Yeah.
Ben Cleveland from the Ravens. I mean, he's now, I think, with Jacksonville or Minnesota. He was drafted in the third round
hindsight's
before the
always
picks Robert
2020,
Hinckley.
but
Yeah.
the point is, if you're taking, if you're using a draft spot on a quarterback, you better have plans for him, and he better, and Kyle Trask has played like 10 plays.
Yeah.
So,
and that very well could happen if you draft Michael Penix or Bo Nix or whoever. If Baker Mayfield plays all 17 games next year, the year after, I mean, Tom Brady, 45 years old, played every stinking game in Tampa, right, for 3 years, didn't miss one start.
But
so
you seem to think
you're guaranteed to have your backup quarterback ride the pine and then not know about him all over again. Why would you want to do that?
But you seem to think that there's a chance Baker doesn't resign.
Yeah, possibly.
So then you're drafting a quarterback. But
yes,
you'll know by drafting.
Exactly. You'll know by that.
That Baker's not back. Kyle's your starter. You're only one under, and then you're in the quarterback market.
Correct. Yeah, so, no doubt.
And you're maybe moving up, maybe you're not. We don't know.
Yeah.
But we'll cross that bridge when we get
exactly.
to it, right?
Yeah.
And I don't. Go ahead.
This is not a great draft for quarterbacks, I don't think.
You know what?
Don't say that to Bruce Arians.
I know.
He says there's 6 or 7 guys that are amazing.
You know what? I think there could be as many as 6 drafted in the first round, right? Just depending on possibly. Yeah,
Holy
there could be.
Shiznit.
Well, I mean, the thing is, if you go back and look, there were 5 drafted in several years in terms of that. There were, let's see, in 2020, for example, you had Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love. Those were 4 in the first round. Jalen Hurts in the second round. There were 13 quarterbacks that were drafted there. There were 5 quarterbacks taken in the 2021 draft. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and Trey Lance went 1, 2, and 3 overall, followed by Justin Fields at 11 and Mac Jones at 15. So there's 5 right there.
There's 5 right there, yeah.
And then you go back and look at 2018. There were 5 quarterbacks drafted in the first round among the 13 overall that were taken. Baker Mayfield 1, Sam Darnold 2, Josh Allen was 8th, I believe. Josh Rosen went to the Cardinals after that, and then the Ravens traded up into the first round and drafted Lamar Jackson at pick number 32. So there were also 5 there as well. So it's not that far-fetched. When you're looking at the first 3 picks, will probably be Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels. There's 3. And it's so top-heavy. And if you're one of those middle-of-the-rung teams, or if you're like picking in the 20s, you might reach for a Michael Penix, a Bo Nix, a J.J. McCarthy, because they're not going to be there in the middle of the second round or in the end of the second round. Those 3 guys will probably be taken completely off the board in the top of the second round is my guess. So, yeah, I think nobody reaches for positions more than quarterbacks, right? That's the position where they're over-elevated, they're over-drafted. Yeah.
And because so many teams need quarterbacks so bad right now, they're all going to reach and take a third-round quarterback late in the first round, early in the second round.
You're right. Yeah, and Tim,
they can get one.
And Tim, to your point, in free agency, it's 3 guys. It's 36-year-old Kirk Cousins coming off of a torn Achilles. It's Baker Mayfield, and then it's oft-injured Ryan Tannehill, who's flamed out in 2 spots now, Miami and Tennessee. So, and he's 32, I think.
He's been linked to the Steelers now, right?
Yeah. And he's going to get injured. You're not going to go the whole season with them, right? So, and I guess now Mitch Trubisky, who's looking, by the way. Yeah, 35, Tannehill, yeah. And now he's so and then you've got Trubisky, who just got released. He's going to be looking for his 4th team Fourth team since being drafted before Patrick Mahomes. Ouch.
Way too high.
Wow. Yeah. And they moved up to get him. They spent lots of money to get him in draft capital. Scott Reynolds joining us here. So this offseason, you're zeroing in on an edge rusher and an interior lineman with the first 2 picks. Do you have one over the other? I think, and it obviously depends on how the draft goes, but at 26, are you getting an elite pass rusher? Probably not. Yeah.
Right.
But I think you can get an elite offensive lineman.
I agree.
So that's maybe where you go with that first pick.
Yeah.
Do you think the Powers Johnson kid is going to be there?
Jackson Powers Johnson won't be there. I think he might be the best non-left tackle in this draft, right? He's the best interior offensive lineman. And again, for the Buccaneers, they don't mind drafting a very athletic, physical tackle and moving them inside. So that's the beauty of this, is don't just hone in on guards and centers for the Buccaneers. Look for that tackle who might have to move inside, doesn't have the longest arms, whatever. As long as they'll knock your junk in the dirt and be nasty and physical, but also athletic, right? Athletic enough to move. That's what Jason Light looks for, and that's why you've seen. They even tried it with Gedeke. It didn't work, right? And Robert Hainsey didn't have the size in the NFL. He was a right tackle at Notre Dame, but he doesn't have the size to play outside. But again, they moved him inside. Even Ryan Jensen, right? Ryan Jensen was a free agent acquisition, but when he was drafted late in day 3 by Baltimore way back in the day, guess what? He was a left tackle at Colorado State Pueblo. Okay, and they did the same thing. So that's the key thing is, and you're right, there could be that athletic offensive lineman at 26, but maybe not the great pass rushers. And I'll say this, the Buccaneers, they're going to spend the vast majority of their cap room on their own guys, as they should. Baker Mayfield, Antoine Winfield, Mike Evans, Levante David, Chase McLaughlin. Those are the Fab Five guys that you really have to have back in order to pick up where you left off. If you don't have those 5 back, you're taking a step back, and you're allowing a team like New Orleans or Atlanta to take a step forward this offseason, unless you really have another home run draft or whatever. Having said that, there are a couple of really good value free agent pass rushers this year. I'm not a huge fan of the pass rushers in this draft class. I think you're going to find another JTS type, maybe another guy like Yaya Diaby if you're lucky, but I'm just not wowed by this group of edge rushers. I think there's a lot of guys that, Robert Ayers, think of him way back in the day, get you 6 sacks or something, but not going to be that Brian Burns, Josh Allen type that's going to the Pro Bowl with double digits. However, this year's free agency class has Brian Burns, has Josh Allen, has Danielle Hunter, right? Jonathan Grenard from Houston, who really came on, Bryce Huff, who came on for the Jets. The great thing about that is there's so many upper echelon edge rushers this year that other teams will be jumping at and trying to fill those. So it might push a pass rusher or two down the rung a little bit because there are so many upper echelon pass rushers in free agency. The other thing is
like
this.
To grab one. I like the proven. I like, especially at pass.
You can never have too many. Right.
And it's also something that's hard to translate into the NFL. It's not as hard as quarterback. But it's such a specialized. I mean, it just takes a special human to be able to beat another human, large human, consistently, athletically. It's like
instinctually. It's not just athletics, right? You have to have that natural feel, right? When that tackle steps outside, you got to be able to have the athleticism, but also the chess match, that intrinsic knowledge of he just took that step. Now I'm going to hit him with the inside spin, and boom, here I come, right? It's those type of subtleties that allowed a guy like Shaq Barrett, who was an undrafted guy out of Colorado State, made it with Denver, and certainly made a big leap to Tampa Bay. But it's that type of natural feel that you have to have combined with either that elite get off or just the long arms and the super athleticism to make it in the NFL as a pass rusher. I will say this, there's a couple of interesting guys that I think the Buccaneers can capitalize on with this being such a top-heavy pass rusher free agency crop, that the Buccaneers, they're going to sit that out. They don't have the money to re-sign all of these top-shelf free agents that they own, that they have on their own, and then go out and get like some big-time double-digit sacker. They just don't have the money for it. But there's a couple guys, Josh Uche, who was with the Michigan Wolverines, tore his Achilles during the pre-draft process, was supposed to be a first rounder, I think fell to the second or third round. And the Patriots, he had a double-digit sack season 2 years ago, kind of fell off this year. Patriots were just a mess. But he's a guy that you've seen flashes from. You can probably get on one of those one-year prove-it deals, like Jason Light has been adept at doing with guys like Shaq Barrett, Baker Mayfield, Leonard Fournette, anyone, Ryan Suckup, right? Those one-year prove-it deals come down to Tampa, right? Ball out, and then get your money. So
we'll pay you.
So Josh Uche is a name to keep in mind. Andrew Van Ginkel, the pass rusher for the Miami Dolphins, is also another guy. Had 6 8.5 sacks, had a pick 6 against Washington. It's another guy that going to be cheap, but I think the Buccaneers sit out the first tier, the first wave of free agency, and then see how the market settles, and then go in for one of those veteran pass rushers to replace Shaq Barrett. Give somebody else a shot at one of those 1 year, $4 to $5 million prove-it deals.
Yeah, I like it. All right, partner, what's going on at Pewter Report this week? What do we got going on?
Just dropped our Bruce Arians story. Had a chance to talk with the quarterback whisperer about the quarterback draft class and Kyle Trask. You can check that out now on pewterreport.com. Got a new Fab 5 coming up with some of my value picks for Jason Light, who's done a great job of finding those value guys in free agency that have turned into either helping the Bucs win a Super Bowl or most recently Baker Mayfield, who has just really come on for the Bucs and looks like he's going to be re-signed and probably make a ton of money, if not in Tampa, then somewhere else in free agency. We've got our Pewter Report podcast today. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, live at 4 p.m. on Pewter Report TV. It's our YouTube channel. And you can also follow us on social media on X, Facebook, and Instagram at Pewter Report.
Did you hear Jason Aldean is playing at the Arians?
I did hear
Foundation?
that, and I will be there.
I'm not missing that.
That's
I'm
right.
not missing that.
Good stuff, man. Appreciate it, guys. Tim, JP, thank you.
And get your tickets at the AriansFoundation.org. All right, thanks, Scotty. Appreciate it. Great, Scott Reynolds, the face that runs the place at Pewter Report. Yeah, Jason Aldean. They got my favorite country performer for their
Can't
for their
name
foundation.
one song by Jason Aldean.
You can't name one song? Come on.
I don't think I've ever heard anything he's ever done.
Oh, come on. He's got 50 number one hits. All right, maybe 20. At least.
I don't know. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying I'm unfamiliar. I don't know his stuff.
My Kind of Party?
I don't traditionally listen to that kind of music.
You don't like country music?
No, I do like country
rock?
music. No. I like the traditional country, the old school country.
Like old
like
Hank Williams?
Like pre-1990.
Like twang country?
Just country music. And I don't like the rockabilly.
The rockabilly? Did you say rockabilly? Oh, you froze. All right. Well, we need to take a break. Well, I don't know if you got to run the break. And you froze.
I can do it. I'm here.
All right. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll educate you to some great Jason Aldean songs. And we'll talk a little Rays baseball. We're going to get to a little bit more on the Super Bowl. We got some crazy stuff coming. So stay with us. Whole second hour. Going to be fun. TJ Rees will join us at the end. Stay with us.
This is The Strike. 102.5 WHPT, HD2 Sarasota, Tampa, St. Pete.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Start the new year with a new diamond from the Gold and Diamond Source. It's still engagement season. Where better to get that special ring than the Gold and Diamond Source? Of course, I just got mine there. I'm engaged. You should do the same thing. Let's go. Gold and Diamond Source has the largest selection of engagement rings in the country. A literal jewelry superstore with 30 times the inventory of any normal jeweler. And if you have a loved one or a special person in your life who has a birthday this month, maybe you have an anniversary coming up, you can get 15% off the January birthstone, which is garnet, as in garnet and gold for all your Seminoles. Celebrate that mythical national championship. And it's the Gold and Diamond Source's 40th anniversary. For the past 40 years, they have taken pride in offering only natural diamonds formed over billions of years from the Earth's incredible forces. And gold prices are at an all-time high. Now's your chance to turn your jewelry box into a cash machine. It's the perfect time to trade in your broken or unworn pieces for something new and stunning. It's the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Synovus Bank, the big bank with the local feel. Just head on over there and open a new account. Move your personal account over there. They have a great app that will make it easy to bank anywhere in the world. You never have to go into the bank because you have that app. But if you move your business over there, they will help you invest in your business as well, which is what local bankers should be doing, right? So head on over, ask for my good friend John Acosta or one of the many friendly associates at Synovus Bank, synovus.com. All right, let's get into some of our great comments here. Tim Ham, if you do we have music for comments? Even though some people
always
don't like it. I don't know. Who doesn't? There's one person that doesn't like the music.
Just one.
Got a kind of a Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry David feel to it, which is never a bad thing.
A little bit.
Yeah. All right. Lonnie Wilkins is on fire here today. And so is well, let's get to this one. I bet the Rays employees don't get a pay increase with the increase in ticket prices. That's an absolutely wonderful comment. Hey, now, the pronoun Royal Rumble. I did misgender the wrestling moniker. It's
I pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah. You idiot. Hey, I'm into wrestling now. So come on. I'm not a Cody Crybaby, though. Thomas Castro says, because the Rays franchise is funding Stu Stadium participation plus his massive deferred compensation plus his screwed partners. That's why they got to raise prices. I mean, some of the stuff that he has done, if you read that lawsuit, it's very enjoyable reading. If you haven't read it, I mean, where he literally takes $375 million up front from the regional television deal because he knew they were going under. Smart guy. And he takes the money and then tells his partners, hey, you got to pay tax on this money, this income that we got into the team. And they're like, well, we didn't get any income. They're like, yeah, I need that money to run the team during COVID. So you're not going to get any money, but you have to pay taxes on it.
That's great.
I don't think that's in the best, my best fiduciary interest there. So
no.
I think I'm going to sue your ass. That's he's a special kind of something. Jordan G says theme nights raised to $56 a night for simple outfield tickets for all the theme nights.
Wow.
That includes Star Wars night. Chewbacca ain't paying $56 to get an outfield ticket. That's all I'm saying. And of course, Obi-Wan Kenobi doesn't need to because he has the Force. Just to get in the door, $56. That's insane. Lottie says increases like that for the Bucs are fine if they're putting it back into the team. Well, I guess in the NFL, how much money doesn't matter. By the way, 127 million people watched the Super Bowl. That's a 7% increase on last year, which was the most watched ever. The most watched TV show of all time.
Finally beat out the last episode of MASH, huh?
I guess. Was that the last room?
Yeah.
I remember watching that. That was a big deal.
Me too. Me too.
Big deal. Another terrible finale, though.
I thought it was great.
I'm trying to remember how that ended. Didn't it end up with them in like New York or something? Didn't they?
No, that was the next. That was the spinoff after MASH.
Okay. How did the MASH one end?
So the last episode was Hawkeye refused to say goodbye to Honeycutt throughout the entire episode. When they knew they were leaving, he wouldn't say goodbye to him.
Oh yeah.
Or Honeycutt wouldn't say goodbye to Hawkeye, and then at the end, as Hawkeye is going up in the helicopter in the final scene, Honeycutt had spelled out goodbye in rocks, and that was the last scene as he's flying away. So
what a great show!
Of
the best repartee.
Yeah.
And Alan Alda,
greatest writing.
Become the douche. Just so good. I mean, the characters, Jamie Farr, Klinger, and Houlihan. Oh my God, so good. It's a lot of off-color jokes.
Oh, big time.
Like you couldn't even do it these days.
Did you like the movie?
The movie. Oh yeah, the movie was great. The movie was fantastic. Absolutely.
Getting off topic here.
Yeah. It looks like the Rays are watching your show, JP. They just sent me a 24-hour sale for 50% off lower level. Well, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, see, we moved the needle here. They're always watching over there in the that somebody Stu must be out on the boat or stuffed in the closet again for 50% just for the day. He may have gone out of town. So the marketing department went a little rogue and did a 50% off lower level some. If you get 2 beers, they make you take the damn caps off and put out some ass that is going to. What is the point of that?
I don't get that.
To take the cap off. Oh, so you don't throw the cap?
Oh, okay. I guess. It's crazy.
You could throw the whole can.
Yeah. It can be out of the WM Phoenix Open, throwing whatever you want.
We don't want to have somebody get hit with a cap.
The can's okay.
The can, we got to give you the can because that's how we make our money. But can't have the cap because you might throw that cap at somebody. Like that. How stupid. Extending cash in the ender was the best news of all season. Yes, no question about it. I guess what the theory is, if you put the money in the people up top to get you cheap players and keep winning, yeah. Jordan G says the spring training vibe of baseball is a great feeling all around. I agree. Just going to spring training is so not, outside, by the way, not an inside stadium.
Mm-hmm.
But going outside to spring training game, whether it's Yankees, Clearwater, even going to a practice. Just going to a practice is like, it's again, smelling the grass, hearing the pop of the leather, it's just the crack of the bat. Oh, so good.
The Rangers used to have their spring training every year in Port Charlotte. And I went to a couple of them and I couldn't do it. I hated the humidity and the weather. Port Charlotte was kind of a toilet at the time. There wasn't really an infrastructure.
Port Charlotte is an absolute dump.
Dude, as soon as the Rangers moved to Arizona and joined the Cactus League, dude, that place out there, the facilities are amazing.
Yeah, that place is, and it's right in the middle of an area where there's like restaurants and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like where the Rays play at Port Charlotte. It's some inland crappy stadium. I mean, it's I'm sorry. It's that whole deal they did there in some horrible part of Port Charlotte's horrible enough. Then you didn't do it even down by the water, which
right?
Would have been cool, right?
Yeah.
No, instead you put it out in the middle of up near the interstate where it couldn't be hotter and nastier, and just there's nothing around it. What a wasted opportunity that was. Lonnie Wilkins says, but I'll say the Ricketts, the owners of the Cubs, got some deserved criticism, but they saved Wrigley Field, which was crumbling, made a great game day experience. Have you been to Wrigley Field lately? I've been twice in the last 2 years because my son now lives in Chicago right near Wrigley Field.
It's been 10 plus years since I've been.
Dude, the renovations, it's like going to this really, really old stadium, but it's brand new.
Yeah.
Everything's brand new. The bathrooms are brand new. They have a hotel on the outside, all Wrigleyville around it. Now they have a sports book attached to Wrigley Field.
That's what you needed.
I mean, my God, it is so awesome to go to Wrigley Field. And they got so many different places over. They have a big bar overlooking the field. And just the whole thing. I mean, that is how you do it, people. That is how you do it. It's perfect. It's freaking. Now, we can't do that because we don't have 100-year-old structure that we can build around and all the nostalgia. But you can build something that looks like it, And I'm all for it. Down in Ybor City, come on, man. As Jordan G says, I still hold out hope that I can hit a 1 p.m. Rays game on a Saturday and take the Ybor trolley over to a Lightning game at 7 o'clock that night. Yeah, call me crazy, Jordan. I still don't think they're going to build that thing in St. Pete. I don't think it ever gets built. I still think it's going to be in downtown. Ybor is such a perfect location for it. I was down there the other night. I was hosting the night parade for a local TV station. I'm sitting up there over 7th Avenue of the Italian Club, and Ybor is such a cool place. I mean, I know it's dirty, but if you put the stadium in, clean up Ybor, like just use the best of the the great history that's down there, the great architecture. You put in a stadium that just fits down there. Oh, it's baseball, Ybor. It's so perfect.
That's cool.
So freaking perfect. That was the original idea they had in 2018. We had all this corporate support for it. I was on the Rays 100. They always say there was no corporate support. Well, the Times writes that. It's complete BS. That's what Stu says. Complete BS. There was plenty of corporate support. All the Rays had to do was step up and pay half then, which would have been $400 million for a beautifully translucent dome that already would have been built, by the way. Construction costs way lower. I mean, it was a no-brainer, but Stu didn't want to pony up the money. And had he ponied up the money then, he'd be making gobs more money. Could have sold with that stadium right now, he could sell that team for $2.5 billion if he built that stadium. Big mistake, boy.
Kind of short-sighted.
Very, very short-sighted. Very short-sighted. Jordan G says, how about the end of the game? A soft zone at the end of an NFL game is the most infuriating thing in all of sports. Finally, an announcer called it out. Romo, how many games have we seen blown? Oh, many. Go back to the Houston Texans Bucks game this year. Yeah, and he rightly pointed out that I think Shanahan called a timeout on defense and said, you're not playing that zone, man. That's so easy for Patrick Mahomes to pick apart. He's going to dump the ball down, get 7-8 yards a clip, and before you know it, they're down the field knocking on the door, and you just let them walk down the field. You gave them 7-8 yards, maybe 12 if the guy breaks the tackle. It's the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah. We know what Patrick Mahomes can do with 13 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to give him a soft zone.
No. James says, no way the Chiefs punt on 4th and 1. They were going no matter what. So from your own, 37-yard line, 36-yard line, you're gonna go for it on 4th and 1. If you don't make it, they're already in field goal range to win the game. With the Chiefs defense, I think he's punting. What do you think?
No, he's punting. There's no question he's punting. You're not going to give him the ball in field goal range.
Yeah.
Or close to it.
Yeah. I mean, you're confident in Pat Mahomes. I get it. And that play was pretty easy that they got the 4th and 1. I get it. But if Bosa doesn't chase the running back and he stays home like he should have,
yeah,
then
different scenario.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But the Nickelodeon call at the end of the Super Bowl was miles ahead of Romo and Nance.
I heard that. Our buddy Colby was watching the Nickelodeon broadcast.
Did you hear it?
I didn't. I never did hear it.
Oh, I have not heard it.
SpongeBob
and Patrick were better than Romo.
I heard it was great. So we posed on our show.
Just won the game.
On our show last night, we posed the question: should CBS, anytime they've got a game going, should they do the CBS equivalent of the Manning cast, but it's SpongeBob and Patrick for the whole broadcast? I'm like, man, I'm in on that. I'd watch that.
100%. Especially if you're partaking in some herbs and spices, and
be so much better.
Not that I'm so much better. All right, so this may be the point of the show where we
may have lost it.
Do we want to go there?
Probably.
All right, so if you're on Twitter, you have seen people talking about Ice Spice and this whole satanic thing. Like, I don't want to go there. But people are saying, oh, look at all this the satanic symbols around the Super Bowl and all this stuff. I'm like, look at the halftime show. Look at the Illuminati symbolism that Usher is dancing on. I'm like, what are we talking about here? And then somebody shows me the video of Ice Spice. And she's wearing a upside down cross necklace, a big one. And then she's doing this like somebody
Weird
said
things,
this is
yeah.
a satanic like thing. And she does it right as the camera, she's right next to Taylor. And she does it right as she knows the camera's on her.
Mm-hmm.
She knows she's looking up at the jumbotron. She can see that the cameras, she's looking up at the monitor. And then she takes the upside down cross necklace and does the double collar.
Everyone's losing their mind.
I don't want to go there. But what are you doing? What is that? You just walk around doing this? This is something that you do a lot. Does somebody do that? Does that have another meaning? Like, what the hell is that? Like,
So,
if you don't want crazy people talking about this stuff, then what are you doing with the upside down cross on? What are we doing here?
But you know what the explanation is all over the internet now? New York Post has written about it. I've seen it all over the place.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
It's legit that she just doesn't know what's going on in the game. She's never watched football before. She's there with her friend Taylor. She doesn't know what's happening on the field. She sees the camera on her and she panics and just does some weird things because she doesn't know what else to do. That's the explanation we're getting from the New York Post and some other media outlets this morning.
All right.
And I don't know who she is, to be honest. I have no clue who that person is. But that sounds about
nice. Come on, bro.
I've never heard of Ice Spice till yesterday.
Oh my God. Come on, man. You never heard
What
of
is
Jason Aldean either. So
No, I've heard of him. I just can't name any songs.
Try that in a small town. Never heard of that one?
No.
Mm. Go ahead and play that on the jukebox next time you're in a
Next time I'm in 1987.
I
find a jukebox.
Is there anything better than a real old jukebox? Come on,
you got to put a dime in.
Come on, man.
Oh man, those were great.
And there's some of the old songs. The last jukebox I saw, like we used to back in a place called Ken's in Florida State in Tallahassee, which is still there, by the way. Ken's Old Tavern, where we used to hang out all the time. It was just a quick walk away from the frat house. So they had an old jukebox at Ken's, and they had all the old, you'd have loved it, all the old George Strait, Hank Williams Jr. We played Family Tradition. At the end of the night, that was it. But they also had another song on there that is one of my favorites by Clarence Carter, Stroking. Stroking. Mm-hmm. So we were I forget where we were. They had an old jukebox, and I'm looking at it. And I look down, and it's B-17, Stroking. We got to play Clarence got it. Yeah, if you haven't heard it, it's a great old jukebox song, and it's definitely not country.
No.
All right, so we're off the rails. So if anybody wants to explain to me what the hell Ice Spice was doing, you just let me know. And of course, Taylor's part of the conspiracy as well.
If she wasn't before, she is now.
She is now.
By association.
It's the world we live in. It's so freaking crazy. You just, oh my God, just stupid stuff, right? Like every time you say it's stupid, the next thing you know, it's true. And you're like, what the hell? What the hell is going on in this world? All right, back to sports. Light is working on Trask like the Packers have done with Jordan Love. Really? We're just stashing Kyle Trask like he's Jordan Love.
Come on.
But you know what? It's funny. It's funny. We say that. And how many people trash Jordan Love?
Not me. Did you?
I don't know if I trashed him, but I was like, come on. I seen last year. When did he play like a 6-game stretch, right? Was it last year? And it was just like, it was nothing there. There was nothing there. And I'm like, what a waste. What a waste. And then, but 6, and I'm not saying I crushed the guy like he'd never be anything, because I know it takes time. I know it takes time. And that's my point. It takes time. And people always think they know about quarterbacks. Brock Purdy, Mr. Rollivan, he'll never be anything in this league.
How do you know?
You never know, because quarterback is a freaking it's a visionary position.
Yeah.
And you don't know until a guy gets out on the field if he's going to see the field like Dan Marino, all right, or Tom Brady. You don't know that until he gets out on the field. The only evidence we have about Kyle Trask is he played in the best college conference and tore it up.
Yep.
Tore it up. Fit with 47 touchdowns. I mean, just tore it up. I mean, that's the only evidence we have. So there's no way it could be good in the NFL. He sucks. He sucks. We all know that.
You don't know.
You don't know.
You know what? I guess that Jordan Love
was that good. We would know by now. Oh, was he going to start ahead of Tom Brady? Was he going to start ahead of Tom Brady? Well, didn't even win the backup job. Oh, yeah, maybe because Tom Brady selected Blaine Gabbert as his backup. Maybe. But he couldn't beat out Baker Mayfield. That's true. Did he really have a shot?
Baker's good. I mean,
Baker's good. This just in. And Todd Bowles' job was on the line. You think he was going to start a rookie over a guy that, wait a minute, this guy's got the grasp of this offense. He's playing pretty good. I like the team seems to rally around him. No, let's start Kyle Trask. No, that wasn't going to happen. And I'm not sitting here banging the table saying Kyle Trask is Brock Purdy. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying all you people who say without question that Kyle Trask sucks don't know what you're talking about because you don't know.
Nobody knows.
Chances are he's not great. Chances are most quarterbacks aren't great. It's a hard position to play. So chances are he's not going to win a Super Bowl. Like 99% chance he's not going to win a Super Bowl. But my point is, and that's about every quarterback that drafted, because first of all, Pat Mahomes is winning the next 20. So, anybody playing in this generation has no shot, just like when you played in the Brady generation. So guys winning Super Bowls are going to be few and far between. So let that not be your litmus test of whether they can play in the NFL or not. So I know this, when I've seen Kyle Trask play, even in preseason, he looks the part. He looks the part. He can make throws. Can he do it in the regular season? I have no idea. I mean, I should say I have no idea. He looks the part. To me, if he started a game and threw for 300, it wouldn't shock me. Would it shock you? It shouldn't. Guy's got a big arm. Yeah. He did it in the best conference in college football. It's people act like the dude played it, at Hofstra or something.
Savannah State.
And the SEC people and threw for 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns. I mean, let's not completely trash the guy like so many of you love to do. Look at me getting on my soapbox for.
He may get cut and go to Washington and be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Another franchise that happens in the league, by the way.
Yeah, yes, it does. See Brad Johnson,
Doug Williams.
Nathan Elliott says, thank you, Scott Reynolds. Please help kill the Penix Florida Homer draft talk. Dude, I've got 4 months of shows to do before the draft, so you just shut up, Nathan. I'm
grin and bear it.
We're going to be talking up Michael Penix more than his mother. All right. What's interesting is, and here's the quote from Aaron's, by the way. Here's the money. I think that says everything about the kid coming back from the injuries, how tough he is to overcome all that. Then to play like he did last year. Now the medical experts, when you get to the combine, they'll tug and pull on you, do all that stuff. You'll get the medical grade. But as far as the football grade, I love him because he does things I love to do. He puts it up the field. He's as accurate on throws up the field as anyone I've seen in 15 years. Wow. Just to fight through that last game after he had that ankle torn up. But what he did to Texas in a 37-31 win in the Sugar Bowl was unbelievable. Yeah. So, people want to say, well, we got Baker, we got it. And you're right. And Scott's 100% right. We need to draft a center and an edge rusher and sign Baker. That's what I'm all in for. Okay. But if somehow Baker signs elsewhere and you got to draft a quarterback and Michael Penix is sitting there at 26, you ain't going to take him? You out of your mind?
Man, I'm seeing some strong things about Baker to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Bigger and bigger every day. It seems like that's more of a possibility.
I think that's Atlanta trying to get us to up our offer and spend more cap money on Baker, which is smart. That's the way you play the game. That's smart.
Yeah.
You use your leverage. But Michael Penix on a rookie contract instead of paying Baker Mayfield $35-40 million a year.
That's appealing.
I mean, is it horrible? Is it horrible? Higher ceiling?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
You'd like to think so.
Baker can throw. Ain't no doubt about it. Michael Penix is an elite thrower of the football. He is he's as good as I've seen since Joe Burrow. It's just how many times you just watch Michael Penix and you watch a throw, especially a deep ball, and you go, holy crap. Oh man, look at him drop the ball in there. 50 yards down the field, 60 yards down the field, flick of the wrist. He's special.
See, and I've never been a big CJ Stroud guy because I hate Ohio State. But man, look what he's a much better thrower of the ball in the pros than he was in college. I think he's shown up a lot more in Houston since he played in college, and he's a lot more accurate. And that just shows you with a little bit of coaching what a player can do coming. And not that he was bad in college, obviously, but to me, he's heads and tails above where he was in college.
Yeah, and that can happen. Get professional instruction, professional. You're not, not that those guys go to class at Ohio State.
Right. Yeah.
You're spending all your time, learning your craft. Guys can take it to the next level. And CJ Stroud is a special kid on many, many levels. And I'll say this, I love his faith and I love his outward. He loves telling the world about the Lord. And I love that from him. And I'm telling you, people don't understand how that helps athletes. And it's not because God favors them. That's not the way it works. It's the inner confidence that they have from their faith. And whether that's from a religious thing or just inner confidence, it's a thing. Yeah. And you see it with some great athletes, and it's pretty cool. Mario says, after seeing the grass surface at the Raiders Stadium, couldn't the Rays come up with a design in which the grass could be rolled in underneath like the Las Vegas Raiders do? Yeah, of course. Glendale Stadium was the first one to do that out in Arizona.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely they could. I mean, the technology is here.
Yeah, but here's the deal with that, JP, and that was supposed to be the plan for Cowboy Stadium here when they built it in 2009. We were supposed to have a grass surface here. It was going to be done just like that. Glendale had already been built, and they're going to use the same system, the same technology. And Jerry Jones, who has literally unlimited dollars, decided it was too expensive. That is an expense. That's like a retractable roof expensive. I mean,
really?
It's ridiculous how expensive that entire system is to have that built and put in.
Just to roll a tray in?
Yeah.
Grass?
It is a big deal. Because you're talking about infrastructure now where you're going to have potentially multiple playing surfaces like they do in Vegas, right? Because they've got the grass field, they've got the artificial turf field. I think they have they have 3 levels of playing surfaces. But now you've got to have the infrastructure around the stadium. It's got to be built up. Your bowl, where the field is, has to be deep enough to accommodate the top level and the lower level because they're not all on the same level. So if like in Vegas, if you have the grass surface in, those walls to the stands might be 12 feet high. But you get the artificial surface in, it's 6 feet above that. So now the walls are only 6 feet high. So it's an entirely different infrastructure of the stadium.
Wow. Okay. Oh, okay.
You got to have the motor to run it in and out. I mean, and Jerry decided it was too expensive.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. But that's a great idea. And that's where we're going.
See, I can't don't we have grow houses?
You'd think.
We grow weed indoors.
Yeah.
We can't grow grass indoors.
We're consulting the wrong people.
Yo, dude, you want some grass indoors? Well, I can take care of that for you, man.
And I can do that for a couple $100.
Guess what? I can steal the electricity from the neighbors too.
I can get you free cable.
Free cable too. Yeah, no problem. Oh, big field? Oh yeah, no problem. Just give me some more weed. And I'll take care of that for you. I mean, can we not grow grass indoors? Is it that hard? Especially with the retractable dome? I don't know.
It's above my pay grade.
I'm not an agronomist.
Yeah.
Or a weed grower. All right, that's we got to take a break. All right, quick break. We'll come back on the other side, and TJ Reeves is going to join us. Thank you guys for commenting. Fantastic stuff as always. We got a few more I want to get to. So we'll do that when we come back. We are brought to you by the Gold and Diamond Source. Valentine's Day is tomorrow. tomorrow. But guess what? The Golden Diamond Source is still open today. And you can get over there, big parking lot. So you don't have to go to the mall. Just zip in, say, hey, man, I got $500. Give me a gift card. Wrap it up nice for you. Go back. Your girl will love it because she gets to come in there and spend it. Or just say, hey, I got $500. Find me something nice for her. Give me some diamond earrings. But they'll give you plenty to choose from. They'll keep it in your budget. Boom, you're in and out of there in 20 minutes. Nice packaging. Bada bing, bada boom. Plus, you're keeping it local, right? Which is where you need to be. The Gold and Diamond Source, Julie and Steve Weintraub, great friends of the program and great friends of the community. Go to the Gold and Diamond Source. Back in 3. Stay with us.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local. We're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA two-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to GeddesGordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com or call 813-485-6808.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by our real estate duo of the Geddes Gordon Group and American Mortgage Services. Jane Geddes and her group will find you a great property, especially if you're into golf properties. She's a major champion.
Four!
Golf, that's right. And then Scott Fitzgerald, my mortgage man, will get you the mortgage that you so richly deserve because he will shop it around. The fees will be the lowest. The interest rate will be the lowest possible to find. And he'll help you get your finances in order to get all your monthly nut down to where you make it really reasonable. Whatever you need in terms of a home equity loan, which is a pretty good idea right now if you're paying 29% on your credit cards, they'll do it for you. So it's the Geddes Gordon Group to find that great home or investment property, and Scott Fitzgerald will finance it for you. Scott at amstampa.com. All right, we got a big hockey game tonight, Timmy.
Yes, the Bruins.
Yes, the Bruins up in Boston. Big Head Hockey tweeted this out, and I thought it was kind of interesting. Best all-time power plays in the history of the game. The Edmonton Oilers last year, 32.4%.
Holy mackerel.
Finally eclipsed the 1978 Montreal Canadiens at 31.9%. The Islanders of 1978 also at 31.4%. Mm-hmm. So those were then the Islanders of 1979 were at 31.2%. And coming in fifth, the Lightning this season at 30.7%.
Wow.
Stamkos, Paul, Hedman, unstoppable.
Wow.
They will need that. Yeah, the fifth best power play in the history of the NHL right now at 30.7%, obviously leading the league. So they'll need that. Their 5-on-5 play has been better. But tonight you're going up against the big bad Bruins up in Boston. So kind of a litmus test game. You got back on the board against a Columbus team that's bad. You got 2 points the other day after losing a couple badly in New York after the break. So I'll be very interesting to see where the Lightning are tonight. Obviously, Sergei is out for the year. Julien Brisebois be looking to spend that $8.6 million that are now available with Sergei going on long-term injured reserve. So he's got a lot of money to spend. Jeffrey Vinnix is going to let him spend it, which thank you to our owner. Not all owners will okay that, but he certainly will. So now they can go out and find a great defenseman, maybe pick up an extra scorer. He's got some room to deal with. Now, of course, what assets are you trading away? It'd be interesting to see. The fact that they brought up some of these defensemen, these young defensemen, and they've played well in the NHL bodes well because there have been a lot of scouts scouting the Lightning for the last couple of months, looking at these young kids that are coming up and playing well, and they've increased their value. I mean, like think about a Crozier who came up and played and looked great. Got a heavy shot over 100 miles an hour. 3 months ago, his worth in the NHL was not much, but now he's played and people have seen him play. His worth is a lot more in terms of the trade deadline. So we'll see. I think they've got some things to deal with. It wouldn't shock me if something shocking happened. So stay tuned, kids.
Brad Marchand's 1,000th career game they'll be celebrating tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
And he is 3 goals away from 400 career goals. So
Yeah,
they'll be looking for some stuff.
Is the Rat celebrating tonight?
Yeah, right.
So that's not what we want to see. It's
No.
not what we want to see. So, Mr. Lilleberg, take your shots. That guy, that young rookie, I love the way he plays. He takes people out, and in terms, not in a dirty way, but in a heavy way. In a heavy way, he eliminates guys with the puck, and I love it. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to that tonight. Well, somebody wanted to weigh in on Ice Spice. Scott Valdez says, "Us metalheads flash the horns." Okay, so that it went away. Ooh, but she ain't metal. And we don't do it in that fashion while adjusting our upside down cross that we don't
wear. Yeah, the oversized cross, by the way.
I'm just wondering what's going on. Somebody let me know.
The only time I flash horns
is horns
down, baby.
By the way, is the SEC going to make that illegal?
No, they're not.
Like the Big 12 did?
No, because you know why? The SEC doesn't give a crap about Texas.
Yeah, that's right. You're
welcome
to
Texas.
the new world. By the way, I think tomorrow answers are due on the FSU and ACC lawsuit. So we'll see where both sides are coming from. We had Scott Jeeves on last week. he seems to feel that FSU has a really good case, and we'll get out of the ACC with some type of reasonable settlement.
Wow,
which is good news. And I think most every legal opinion I've read, and I've read a lot of them, believe that, and also that the ACC has made a lot of mistakes from a legal standpoint. Now, I know the rule of law is weird these days. It's like things that are laws that should be upheld are just not for whatever reason. I don't think there's any politics involved in this stuff. Although I say that, and then I look back at the college football playoff, and I look back at ESPN, Disney, Ron DeSantis, Tallahassee, Florida State. There's definitely some connections there. There's no doubt about it. And everything is political these days, right? Everything, especially in business. So you're either on one side or the other, and Disney's on one side, and ESPN's on one side. Florida State and DeSantis and FSU are on the other. I mean, you can't ignore it. And to say that it doesn't play a role in that, I think is silly and naive. So as bad as it sounds and as stupid as that sounds, it shouldn't be. That's the way things are these days, right? No doubt about it. So Nathan says Bucks are setting Trask so that everyone around him will know the offense before they give him the start. Trask saw no time with Brady. He has learned behind Baker. When he comes in, he will play. I'm not sure what that means, Nathan, to be honest with you. Maybe that he'll play well. I said it last year, if Baker was so broken up in that Carolina game that he couldn't throw and he couldn't run, you won the game 9-0. But give me a healthy Trask over a 50% Baker, 40% Baker. That they were playing with fire in that game. They were playing with fire, and they won, and they advanced, and that was great. But he was beat up. He was beat up in that Saints game, and he was beat up in that Carolina game. And people seem to think this, and I think it's crazy. Yes, starting quarterbacks are better, absolutely. But the whole idea that backups can't play and we can't have a football game with a backup quarterback is just stupid. It's idiotic. It's dumb. It's proven wrong time and time again. I'm not saying they're going to come in and play at the highest level, but the game will not, it's not going to be the worst game in the world. The guy's not going to fumble every snap and throw 10 picks. I mean, these are professional quarterbacks, and in college, they're talented kids. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them just need a shot. Tom Brady was a backup quarterback. Hell, Patrick Mahomes was a backup quarterback.
Right.
Guys, it's not their time. It's time, as Thomas Castor said, the Charlie Batch factor. Yeah. He used to come in and win. That dude used to come in and win games. Frank Reich, the author of the greatest comeback in playoff history.
NFL and college, right?
Yeah.
He holds both records, NFL and college.
The great Don Strock. One of my heroes growing up.
How about Scott Mitchell?
Scott Mitchell. There you go. We could go
names out of my butt,
I bet this guy knows a few backup quarterbacks that have come in and done a few things. The great historian of the game, TJ Reeves, joining us here. What's up, my friend? How are you?
I see your Don Strock, and I raise you Sean King.
Sean King had some moments.
Always good to be with you boys, post Super Bowl, etc. I did get off the handicapping show. We had plenty of discussion on Nevada and New Mexico and everything in between. With all the college hoops, we're all good. We're all good.
Hey, over there at that Bet US network, aren't you?
Yep, doing stuff with Bet US and their college hoops. They truly let anybody on the platform, apparently, because they've got me there doing the college hoops, and
they pay well.
There are a lot of people. Come on in. There are a lot of people coming in here in February, headed for March, trying to get the advice and figure it out for the brackets and the pools.
Give me a pick for tonight. Just who we got?
The dudes are all over North Carolina to roll at Syracuse. The handicappers that I was with, they're I think laying 7 or 8. They're all over that.
All right.
They're all over San Diego State to squeeze Colorado State at home. San Diego State's off a loss. They were in the Final Four a year ago.
SDSU.
So there, I gave you a couple of them that they were just talking about.
What about the Aggies and Vanderbilt tonight?
Interesting. Letdown spot. Vanderbilt's terrible. Letdown spot, though, for an A&M off the win. What was your man Buzz Williams doing out on the court like a cheerleader trying to call timeout while the game is going on. They don't grant his timeout, JP. And Buzz, who's in the three-piece suit vest without the jacket, is on the floor waving, jumping up and down in the middle of the court, calling timeout, and they don't even call a technical foul on him. Yeah. What's up with your man, the Aggie coach?
Buzz is very passionate about his timeouts, okay?
They kicked Scott Drew out of the Baylor-Iowa State game for being out of the coaching box by like 6 inches because he was outside the line. Buzz Williams was 5 feet on the floor. He was about to take an inbounds pass.
Yeah.
And they don't even give him a technical foul.
Six man.
I guess it depends on who the judge is or the venue is.
Yeah. But I don't think you have me here
judicial system.
I don't think you have me here for just the debate.
The college basketball. I don't know. You give me winners,
behavior.
bro. We'll have you on every day. Come on.
We'll try to slip you some here and there. You're still talking Super Bowl. Now, full disclosure to the audience.
Yeah.
JP and I were talking off the air on many subjects. And then we started debating the overtime stuff. And do you take the ball in the new modified NFL overtime that only nuclear engineers understand at this point what the rules of the overtime are?
Clearly, the announcers.
You started the don't come at me, bro. You started to come at me on the phone, and I said what to you? I said, save it. Save it for the show.
There is no world in which any coach gives up the advantage of the knowing what you have to do on 4th down. It's not a small advantage. It's not a little thing. It's a gigantic strategical advantage.
Okay,
and that's why every college coach in the history of their overtimes, where
but you can't. This was
possess
my
the
point
ball,
earlier when I stopped you.
Let the other team go first, then you know what you have to do.
Okay,
that's
so
not a
Timmy,
small
you're going to have to be the
advantage.
judge. You're going to have to find a robe. You have a robe in that room. You're going to have to find a robe, get your gavel. I'm not going to make you put on a white long wig like the Brits do for their trials. You don't have to do that.
What do you got?
All right, but I'm putting you on the witness stand right now. You're in the camp. You're for the defense of defer. You're deferring. So the right hand is raised. Isn't it true, Mr. Fanstream JP, that the Kansas City Chiefs have already demonstrated they will roast your chestnuts in overtime if you give Patrick Mahomes the chance to go down and score on you? That's been shown. Ask the Buffalo Bills. He will go down. He will get a touchdown.
Yes,
okay.
And this just
Isn't
in, Your
it
Honor,
true?
we have
Hold
a new
on,
system where I get the ball too.
I'm not done with my babbling, rambling, leading question. Isn't it true that the Chiefs had just driven down the field at the end of regulation and gassed the 49er defense, and they were fortunate they didn't give up the touchdown to lose the game right there? Isn't that true, Mr. Fanstream JP on the witness stand? Isn't that correct?
They had 20 minutes of commercials to rest.
Maybe they did. So now you win the toss.
Yes.
And aren't you thinking as the head coach, my God, that guy is an alien over there, and I'm not putting him back on the field right away to get a touchdown on us and put us down by 7. I think that's part of the thinking. But
yeah, that's fine.
But isn't it also correct, Mr. Peterson, that it is not college football? You're not guaranteed in the second session, if it's still tied, that you will get the ball again. No, so isn't it your advantage to have it a third time? Yes. Isn't it your advantage to get the ball the third time if the game is retied?
There is no world where you're getting to a third possession most times in this situation.
I don't know what the stats are.
But isn't it
on
true? Isn't it true that if you know you need to make it on 4th down, it's easier to go for it?
I don't disagree with that. I cannot disagree with that.
Listen. And Kurt Warner was asking the same question on Twitter. It's like, what? So the players aren't going to try to score a touchdown? That's not the point.
His own players, first of all, can we stop for 3.9 seconds? His own players didn't know the overtime rule.
I know.
Yeah.
How is that possible that the 49ers don't understand that even if we score a touchdown, the game is not over, the game is still on?
The guy who caught the winning touchdown in the Super Bowl did not know he had just caught the winning touchdown in the Super Bowl.
That's correct. Mecole Hardman didn't know the rules either.
Yes.
But it's a little different because he's caught it, the game's over, and they can let him in on it. They can come and start celebrating with him in that moment. It's done, bro. We got the rings again. We're good.
First of all, from an NFL standpoint, if your players don't know the rules in your biggest game, that's a problem.
That's on
That's a problem.
That's a totally different argument. And by the way, I'm now helping you. If you do this and take the ball first.
You're like my ex-wife in a hearing. You're so fantastic.
I'm helping you, my friend. I'm
Yeah,
rehabilitating.
that's what she does. She doesn't realize
if
it.
it's
She does
4th and goal and you've taken the ball, why are you not going for it when you know who's lethal on the other sideline can go get a touchdown?
Another blunder.
Now
there were
blown
three
that-
blunders. Three blunders. The 3 blunders of Shanahan is the name of the book.
I wasn't too tough on you on the witness stand on that.
No,
but three blunders.
You're way
How
less
about
than
Kyle
my
Shanahan
ex's
Kyle Shanahan has now been part of 3 different games up by double figures where he's either the play caller in Atlanta, obviously, or the head coach, and they've lost all 3 times. You talk about an epic legacy for the wrong reasons. That's like you're approaching Buffalo Bills remembrance for that. You're
Maybe
approaching
Kyle Shanahan. Maybe
Minnesota
it's not
Vikings.
Maybe it's
Minnesota
not.
Vikings,
Maybe it's not Kyle Shanahan making Brock Purdy. Maybe it's that insane new 49ers roster keeping Kyle Shanahan afloat. Because I can, Your Honor, or Counselor, I can make a long dissertation, an opening statement on how Kyle Shanahan is an idiot.
I know from lawyers and
is
my
an
mother.
Idiot of you blew. How do you blow a 28-3 lead as a play caller
because you're
in
not
a
running
Super
the
Bowl?
ball.
How do you blow double-digit leads in a Super Bowl? How do you not take the huge advantage of knowing whether you have to go for it on 4th down or not in overtime? How do you not go for it on 4th if you've taken the ball? How do you not go for it on 4th and 4 from the 9-yard line with Patrick Mahomes waiting on the sideline to school your ass? I mean, not using his timeouts before half where he could have got an extra possession, blunder. Wrong call in overtime for taking the ball, blunder, and then not going for it on 4th and 4, blunder. The 3 blunders of Shanahan. I have 4. There's probably another one. I have 4 fingers.
But the 3 blunders has a good ring to it.
Yeah, the 3 blunders of Shanahan. Yeah, it does have a nice roll.
No.
I can make a country song out of that. Yeah.
So what's interesting in the dynamic? We have much love. You're going to pick up one of those guitars over your left shoulder.
I'll have a little ditty for you tomorrow.
I'll get my bass out of the closet.
Yeah.
The thing is, we have much love for John Lynch. And they were on the cusp, obviously, of winning the whole thing. And Mahomes has now gotten them twice with 2 comebacks. What's interesting in the dynamic is that when you go back to Shanahan being hired, and that was that Super Bowl season, John Lynch was around him when he was working the Fox playoff game that Atlanta won before the NFC Championship game. It wasn't the NFC Championship game because that was Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. He was on the divisional round call.
Okay.
Lynch was on the call. So as he tells the story, he was sitting and watching film with Kyle Shanahan and listening to his thoughts on the offense in the Atlanta facility. And they started to talk. They stopped the film. They stopped the tape. They started to talk about the future. And according to Lynch, and Shanahan's verified this, and Shanahan basically said to him, I'm going to be the Atlanta coach. I know this. The staff knows this. We're going to go
coach.
I'm going to be the San Francisco coach. Excuse me. Thank you. And he looked at John Lynch and said, would you come run the personnel with me? You're somebody I trust. Would you run the personnel with me? And Lynch was almost floored. He was not expecting that. Just sitting, he and Shanahan are the only two sitting in the Falcon offensive room watching film.
Great TJ story.
Okay, so that's where the relationship began on coach basically bringing in the GM because he said to him, would you come with me to run the personnel? Mm-hmm. So they come together. And now you wonder how difficult, and as crazy as this might sound, how difficult is it for John Lynch to contemplate if it comes to it? Do we need somebody? Do we, the 49ers that I now run the front office of, do we need somebody other than Kyle Shanahan who basically handed me the role on a silver platter? What do you make of that, FanStream JP?
Well, listen, I mean, everybody keeps saying it's Shanahan propping up Purdy. Maybe it's Purdy and this entire incredible roster that John Lynch has put together that's propping up Kyle Shanahan. I mean, can I make a case that I could coach that team? I mean, freaking A. And I certainly wouldn't make the 3 blunders that Shanahan just made, and I'd probably be making a lot less. Seriously, I know he's a renowned play caller in this league. There's a lot of good play callers. He's a terrible game manager. He's terrible. He's terrible.
The end of the first half is inexcusable.
It's inexcusable.
I mean, your man,
it's inexcusable.
Timmy, your man Tony Romo,
freaking high school football.
Your man,
and I've
Tony
seen high school football coaches do this.
He put down the word search game or Candy Crush or whatever he was playing on his phone, and he even woke up at the end of the first half and went, "Wait a minute, 49ers aren't taking their timeouts while the Chiefs are trying to run the clock out." At the end of the first half.
I mean, that's as I keep saying,
Candy Crush.
That's a free possession. That's a way a coach can create a turnover
Yes.
in a game. And if you don't do that, you're a moron.
Especially when you know it's going to be a month before you're back for the third quarter because of Usher's halftime show.
Yes. You're not
Because
going to see the ball in real time till like 9 o'clock tonight.
Because they had the stat when the 49ers
there'll be
finally
six
got
more human sacrifices in the box there before you even get the ball back.
When the 49ers got the first down late in the third quarter, they literally had a timer on it and said that's their first down in an hour and 20 minutes of actual time.
Yes.
Because the halftime was 30 minutes long, people.
Yeah.
So it was a while before they got the ball back. I don't know what he was doing at the end of the first half. And again, I'm not saying the 49ers are going to do this, but for John Lynch, it's a difficult thing. When Shanahan, are they joined at the hip? Are they interlocked forever?
That's got to be a hard exit interview. That's got to be a hard exit interview. If I'm John Lynch, and here's the other thing. I've been told that the whole Trey Lance thing, John Lynch was not down with that. He was not down with it.
He did it because Shanahan wanted Trey Lance, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, we see who was right on that one.
Yeah. Imagine the 49ers roster with two more number one picks. And a number with two,
scary enough
2 1s and 2.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Well, look, we'll see if the 49ers get it figured out. I know you got to roll. Have me back whenever. Buccaneer free agent moves, etc.
All right, let's do that next week. And I'm making money on North Carolina and SDSU tonight.
Yes, go for that in a little parlay. Pair it up. Timmy may want you to get a little Aggie action on that too as a three play. But
okay,
we'll see what happens. But anytime that you need me, I love being on with you here on the program.
By the way, according to Scott Valdez, you lost.
I see.
Did the judge rule?
I don't know.
Did the judge ever rule? Scott,
I want to know.
Shanahan's a terrible coach. There's my rule.
That. I still, for Scott's benefit,
settle out of court.
I still, for Scott's benefit and for anybody else's benefit, to explain to me, I'm going to beat Patrick Mahomes in the scenario we laid out by stopping him possibly twice because I won the toss. I'm giving him the ball first, and I'm potentially giving him the ball third to beat us. Scotty,
potentially.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. All right, I'll counter that, Your Honor. So he scores a touchdown, they get 7. I come back, I know he's got to score a touchdown. And then what I'm doing?
I'm going for 2.
Going for 2. I'm winning the game.
Well, on that note, my friend,
Pat Mahomes, you ain't going to see the ball again.
On that note, my friend, have a good rest of Tuesday. You made a strong argument.
I love you, brother.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah, we should all be head coaches, and we know more than Kyle Shanahan and everybody else. And listen, it's weird in that way. Thank you, TJ. You're free to go now.
Your excuse.
Close up the show. It's weird in that way. I get it, but these guys there's so much pressure. They're so close to the game. Sometimes they miss the most obvious things. The great coaches don't.
No.
The great coaches don't. They're prepared.
Nothing slips through the cracks.
That decision was made a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
And maybe for Kyle Shanahan, it was made a month and a half ago, but his analytics people are morons because there's not a universe that exists that you don't use that tactical advantage. Yeah. Go call timeouts. The 3 blunders of Shanahan. It's more of an Irish Celtic pub song.
It is
than a country song.
We'll have to work on that.
The 3 blunders of Shanahan. Oh gosh, I'll have something for you by tomorrow.
I like it.
In a good Irish accent too. Oh, it'd be fantastic.
Good day, mate.
We'll have a Guinness or two and to pound them down and get a little inspiration.
Oh, I love pounding Guinness.
Yes. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for joining us. Scott Reynolds was fantastic, as was TJ Reeves, as were you, Tim. Appreciate you. Don't forget to like on our Apple and Spotify, so you can always listen as a podcast, folks. FanStreamSports.com. Our FanStream Sports YouTube page, JP Peterson Show YouTube page, everywhere you can find us. And now on 102.5, The Strike as well, HD2 FM. We are live every day from 10 to 12 on your radio. You can hear it from Newport Richie to Lakeland to freaking it's all over. So thank you guys for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. See you then.